Hey, thanks for joining us today. We're continuing the talking deeper into the message with Pastor Philip Pattison as we're concluding week 4 of our Transform Message series. It was an incredible message today, and I hope you're just as encouraged by the things that we're diving into together. So check it out. Hey, thanks for being here today. That was that was an awesome message. I was texting my wife like, I'm ready to sell everything. But as we're talking through this, the question I ask everybody who's speaking, the first question is, I know that every time you're working on a message like that, especially since you manuscript, we were talking about this, there's a lot of things that make it on your page that maybe then you had to copy and paste and save it for another time. So what was it that was on your page that didn't make it on stage that you wish you had time to share with us?
You know, at the beginning of the message, I talked a little bit about how with this abstract, disembodied faith, we talked about how it doesn't lead us into oftentimes kind of concrete action. And one of the things that I'm cutting was just some comments about how I think for a lot of us, if we're honest, that's why we're so bored with Christianity, is because oftentimes our religion, our Christianity, it's something we talk about on a Sunday morning, we sing about it, but it doesn't actually make its way into our everyday life. And so for a lot of us, we're like left with this question, isn't there more to my faith in this? Like, isn't there more to Christianity than this? It feels impotent. It feels irrelevant. And it's because a lot of us haven't taken what we see as abstract and made it concrete and let it actually change. And then be able to enjoy some of the risks and the beauty because we haven't let ourselves venture. We're bored.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Going back on the theme of today, like we're in this series called Transformed, and every single week we've been talking about how God transforms us. He uses these different conduits for transformation, right? And today was about people. And I'm curious, like your take on it. Why do you think God does choose to use his people as the conduit for transformation? Why wouldn't it just be, hey, I'm God?
That's a really good question, Tim. I don't know why he chooses to use us, although I think that that's part of the way he transforms us, right? Yeah. I do think that part of the way he's changing me is by inviting me to help provide transformation in others, right? When I am being more fully known and loved or knowing that anyway, as I'm moving towards others. So I think that's part of the sanctification process for me as I'm moving towards others. So I think that's part of it. I don't know why he did it, but I will say, what a gift. You know, like I think one of the privileges that we don't often like think about it, we know about God's grace towards us through the cross, through the resurrection, but it's like a double blessing, the fact that we actually now get to be a part of that. Like we actually get to be like, it's not the have to, it's I get to move towards people in the way that he's moved towards me. It's incredible.
That's something I was going to ask you about actually in the story that you shared, or not the one that you shared, but the one that you showed of the foster family that got involved and took in this child and investing in the mother as well. At the end, the foster mom said something along the lines of, it comes at a great cost and yet at no cost at all. And that seems to be such a contradiction, right? Like, how does that even make sense in what we're talking about here?
Yeah, it absolutely. You know, I think Jesus, it's not Jesus, but the writer of the Hebrews talks about this, about Jesus. And the writer says, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. There's both a cross and there's joy. It's both. It has to be both. And so when we get a move towards, James talks about this too, that if you're not just a hearer of the word, but you're also a doer of the word, that you'll be blessed in your doing. And there's a blessing and there's joy when you get a chance to go out and actually live into the kingdom of God. And yet there's always a cross. There's always a cost involved too. So it is that you're living within that really crazy tension.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. There are many people, I'm sure, who are joining us online, who have joined us in our services. Today was probably their first time hearing about Foster the City. So if people want to learn more what it means to just be engaged or even be curious about what's happening, where can they find that out?
So at fosterthecity.org. So our goal is to raise up foster families and then to raise up support friends for foster families. And we do that in the Bay Area, down in Southern California, in Northern Nevada, and they can get involved. There's a role for everybody.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, that's a wrap for our series. I hope you were encouraged by the whole series, but even the messages week to week that we've been able to unpack together. And that's it. Make sure if you miss any of the messages, you check them out right here on our YouTube channel. And again, always subscribe and like this video if you found it helpful and encouraging so that more people can see it and be encouraged as well. Thanks, you guys. See you later.
So if I say something heretical, it can be edited out.
We'll bleep it out.
Sweet. Okay. All right.
We'll put it over your mouth, which Echo.Church does not stand for.